And if you are seated in a Sukhasana, just start playing just a little bit to find something through the rocking of the pelvis, right? And have a slight load of your body weight, really more on the leg bone in front of your sits bones, the ischial tuberosity, as opposed to dropping backwards and having a rounded back. So play with that a little bit. Wiggle around until you find something that feels good in your base, so that at least we can have support for our spines before we get going. And I always like to kind of wiggle out my spine from side to side a little bit, just to check that I'm also not locking up the transverse processes on the sides of the vertebra, so that I have movement. And then I also sometimes will just rock a little bit before I get going, front to back, to also tune in to fluidity through the spine. So we will pay attention to the spine, even though we're going to focus more on arms and neck today. So bring the palms face down. If you'd like to take a chin mudra, thumb and index fingers come together. Gently lift through your breastbone. Soften the skin in the front of your neck and lower the gaze over the tip of the nose. And begin to invite the breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Soften your jaw. Soften the back of the tongue. And widen the base of your nose to the sides of the room. Connect with the breath, breathing all the way down into your pelvic bowl, reaching in all directions. As you exhale, everything softens back towards your midline and hugging in towards your spine. With each inhale, you feel the skin reaching outwards in all directions. And with each exhale, everything hugs back in. Notice the skin on your back body reaching. Notice the points of your shoulders reaching outward on the inhale. And with the exhale, notice everything hugging back in towards the fulcrum of the heart. Back to the shoulder points, reaching outwards. Nice tips of the shoulders up here, just kind of exploring into outer space. See how far they can reach. And exhale, bring that back into a center. And one more time. Outwards. And bring that back and hug it in. Bring the palms together and start to rub them, gathering up prana, chi. And then let's gather that heat into our cheeks. And take it up and over the head and flick it out to the side. And again, gather, rub, building heat, prana. And let's bring that into the face again. Up and over and flick the stress off the back of the shoulders. And then one more time, gather. Into the cheeks, up and over, and flick it out. Good. We're going to start with the right side. Just drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Let your right arm hang down. Feel the base of your hand reaching towards the earth, just with heaviness, like it's hanging like a ball on the end of a string, not forcing it. Come back to your breath. Inhale, bring that back up. You can rest the right hand back onto your quadricep. Let the left arm hang. Drop the left ear to the left shoulder. We're just checking in with the space. Side of the neck, front of the neck, all the way down to the collarbones. Breathing in and out. And slowly bring that back up and rest the hand. Now take your right arm, reach up and over. We're going to bring the crook of the elbow up to the top of the head, and the weight of the arm will invite the ear to the right shoulder. So you're not forcing the stretch. We always are protective of our neck. Just using the weight of the arm to help us find a stretch through the outside of the left shoulder, left neck. So inhale, slowly release that. Okay, switch sides. Left arm comes up and over, left elbow to the top of the head. Again, weight of the arm is going to invite your left ear to the left shoulder. You'll feel the stretch, probably through your right sternocleidomastoid muscle. Watching the tendency to twist the head. Really staying with a lateral stretch here. Completing your exhalation, then slowly release the arm and come back. Now look all the way up to the right with your eyeballs. Make a rainbow with your eyes and look left. And then do that. Retrace the rainbow all the way back. Now invert the rainbow, look down and to the other side, and then trace that back. Beautiful. Now come back into center with your eyes. And we're going to do a splenius capitis stretch, which is this muscle deeper to the traps in the back here. Well, actually, we should probably do trapezius first. So, trapezius. Cross the arms. You're going to reach back behind, taking your hands to either side of the back of the neck, right? Then we're going to tuck through, bringing our chin to our chest. Weight of the arms will help support the stretch. Now with a big inhale, I want you to press back with your head into your hands, but resist with 20% effort. For 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then tuck through a little bit more. Press back, resist, 20% resist for 5 seconds or 5 counts. And tuck through one more time. And press back. And then slowly release that. Now look around a little bit. Just feel any tension that kind of sloughed off the back of the neck. And then we're going to move towards an angle, which is for splenius capitis, which is the next layer deep in the back of the neck muscles here. This one, you're going to move at 45 degrees. So you're going to bring your right arm out. You're going to cross it over the head. And the back of the hand is going to come to the left side of the back of your skull. And then we're going to tuck down to 45 degrees in the stretch. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Stay with your breath. And then take a nice big inhale. Exhale, press back with your head. Resist with your hand, 20% effort for 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to slowly release that. That's enough, just once. And then come back up. Great. All right, now we'll do the opposite side. So left hand or arm comes out 45 degrees. Reach it, cross over, touching the right side of the back of your head. Tuck through to 45 degrees. And just feel this for a little bit. Don't push yourself. If you feel any tension at all, back on out of this. Take a less of a stretch. And then we're going to do the resistive stretch. Nice big inhale. Exhale, press back for 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then slowly release. Good. Look around the room a little bit with your eyeballs. If you're like me and your feet are falling asleep a little bit, you may want to straighten out your legs for a minute and shake it out. Get a little bit of wiggling and jiggling because it can be hard to sit for a long period of time. And then switch the cross of your legs. Right? Our tendency is to go into a cross that's easier for us. Right. With your strap, we're going to bring it over the right shoulder or your belt, and you can also use your hands, and we're going to do Gomukhasana arms. So we're going to reach behind with the left hand and over with the right. Hands don't need to be touching. What I don't want to see is the chin tucking forward. So we're really looking for a neutral neck. Feel the back of your skull meeting the back hand. And just sink into your breath here. Feel each rib moving. Feel space between the backs of the ribs and your shoulder blades. Relax the skin in the front of your neck. And then slowly release that. Shake it out. Bring your arms out to a T position, palms front, facing front. We're going to hinge the thumb behind us, lift up with the sternum to find a big bend. If you want to take your eyeballs and your chin and look up a little bit, that's fine. Drawing your shoulder blades, hug them into the spine. Tightening those muscles up a little bit in the arms, bringing them into the bones. And then release that. And then we'll switch sides. We're going to take the strap over the left shoulder. We're going to reach behind with the right arm, grab onto your strap or scarf, reach over, and you can also grab onto a shirt here, and if you can clasp your hands, feel free to do that as long as you stay neutral in your neck. Come back into your breath. Notice movement through each rib, space between the shoulder blade and the rib cage. Feel free to close your eyes. And slowly release that. You can set the strap to the side if you like. Good. And we'll do one more back bend here. This time, instead of going straight out to a T, explore maybe a little bit lower. Hinge the thumbs behind you. Now, turn your pinkies up. Beautiful, and then relax that down, shake it out a little bit, and we'll do one more arm stretch from here. So inhale, reach on up, bring your arms straight up to start, turn your pinkies inwards towards each other, hug your shoulder blades down your back a little bit. If you're feeling numbness or tingling, drop into cactus arms. And then we're going to move into Garuda Sun arms or eagle arms. We're going to take the right arm underneath the left. If this doesn't work in your body, you can just bring the hands together in a modified variation. You should feel the stretch on the outsides of your shoulders into the delts, the deltoid muscles. And come on out of that, come back up, extended arms or cactus arms, and then do the opposite arm, swing it around. Come back into your breath. Exhale, unwind, reach back up one more time. Let's go ahead and drop down into cactus arms so everybody can feel that. Hug your shoulder blades into your spine. Lift through the breastbone. Keep hugging it in. Really create like a sense of tension. Good. And then just reach on out with that. Wiggle it out. Shake it out. And we're going to do seated cat-cow now. So if you need to adjust up or switch the crosses of your legs, you can straighten the legs again. Wiggle it out, which always helps me. And then bring that back. Palms are going to be face down. Again, find your load in the front of the sits bones. There's a slight anterior drop here through the pelvis. And we're going to initiate from the pelvic floor first. We're going to inhale, rock forward. Lift through the breastbone, lift through your chin, and look up. Then exhale, tuck through, and make your way through your spine. And keep doing that movement, rocking back and forth, finding the fluidity in your spine. Now soften into a center and stack your hands on top of your breastbone. Close your eyes and start to feel your own heartbeat. Now feel your heartbeat in the skin of your fingers. And allow your hands and your arms to rest on your heart. Find your shoulder blades. Let your shoulder blades be heavier on your back body as you feel your heartbeat. And remember that this is a safe place to be in your own center, your own rhythm. Then with your next inhale, gently just open the eyes. Get curious about the space around you. Even look behind you. Become aware of the back body. Find those heavy shoulder blades, and then we're going to start to just reach with our elbows. On an inhale and exhale, come back into the heart. And again, inhale, reach with the elbows. And come back on in. And one more time, reach with the elbows. Now add the forearms, reach on out. It's like a reverse hug. Take up some space with the hands. Reach through the fingertips, find them long. And then bring that all the way back in. Fingers come in, wrist, elbows, all the way back to the heart. And we'll do that a couple more times. Reach with the elbows. Then extend. Broaden through. Feel how the hands are connected to your heart, but they're curious about the environment around you. And then bring that back in. Gather some chi, prana, all the way back in. And then one more time. Get curious. Broaden, open. And bring that back into a center, into the heart. Feel your heartbeat again. Feel that safety in center, that original fulcrum. Drink it in like honey, running through your veins with sweetness. And then we're going to just straighten out the legs for a moment, shake it out. We're going to transition. If you're like me, you're on a bolster or a blanket, you can come off of that. We're going to go right into Balasasana, child's pose, bringing the big toes together. And just climb on your mat like you're a little tree frog. You know, tree frogs have these wide hands, right, with little suction cups. So you want to use that, right? Find your suction cups, come forward. And soften into your breath here in child's pose. So your next inhale, we're going to press on up to all fours and just practice shaking out side to side, lateral movement. Feel some movement through the sides of your hips, into the SI, between the sacrum and your hip bones. Wagging the tail. And I want you to, you're going to stay on all fours, but just become aware of in the front of the belly here, we have the abdominis rectus muscles, which are known as the six-pack muscles. We're going to use those instead of like tightening them. We're going to help with our arm reaching forward with this. So find your abdominis rectus muscles. And then on your next inhale, we're going to reach forward with the arms. Just the right one, excuse me. Parallel to the floor. And then exhale, lower that back down. So this is the beginning of bird dog. Inhale, find your abdominis rectus, really reach from the belly here as you reach forward. And bring that back down nice and slow with your exhale. And again, initiate the movement from the belly, reach forward. And exhale, lower down. Left side, initiating from the belly, center. Bringing the hand to the mat with the exhale. One more time. Inhale, reach forward. Really reaching long. Reach through the fingertips. And exhale, lower that down. And one more time. Keep your shoulder blade down and back as you reach forward. And lower that down. Coming in to thread the needle, reach out with your right arm first. We're going to thread on through, come onto the right ear. Draw your left hand down and back. Find the twist here. And if you'd like to move into twisted cat, reach the left arm to the sky. Then exhale, plant that hand, slowly come back to all fours and shake it out, side to side. And then we'll switch sides. Inhale out the left arm, thread it on through. Come onto your left ear, bring the right hand down and back. If you'd like to change into twisted cat, opening up the upper arm. Stay with your breath. And then slowly come back up. And again, shaking it out a little bit. We're going to go into puppy pose. So bring your hands out in front of you. Straighten the arms. Have an awareness of your hips. We're going to try to not rotate through the hips. We want to square those. This is the upper part of downward facing dog. We're going to lower our head down, ears in line with the elbows. Now draw your navel back slightly. Find length from the pubic bone through the breastbone. And to start with, just play with pressing in the base of the hand all the way through between the thumb and the pinky side. So not on one side or the other. Make that a solid base. The other place to pay attention to is having the shoulder blades down and back, so we're really stabilizing with teres major in the back of our shoulders. See what that takes in your own body to make that happen. Breathe deeply. Now imagine your pelvic floor all the way to the diaphragm as a balloon, and breathe outwards in all directions through the base of the balloon and the pelvic floor. And as you exhale, everything softens into a center. So keep breathing here. And slowly come back up to all fours, drop back into a Virasana. Feel free to sit on a block and just take a moment here to rest. Feeling the stretch all the way through the quads, top of the knees, the patella tendon into the frontal compartment of the legs. Allowing your mind to be focused on the breath. And then we're going to come forward. Again, you can find your tree frog ability here. And then we're just going to lower down onto our mats into a Sphinx pose. Coming up onto the forearms, If your low back is feeling tender, just lean forward a little bit, decrease the back bend. But find something that feels okay. Relax your glute muscles. Don't engage through the gluteus maximus, minimus, medius. Find your belly button and breathe into the belly. And find that inhale, that extension of the spine, and as you exhale, the flexion of the spine. And just play with that like you're a little snake in the garden. And then we're going to lower down and transition into an arm stretch. So if you have an injury in your shoulder girdle, you probably shouldn't do this one. But we'll come out to a T position with the right arm. The forehead goes into the mat. Left hand comes next to the left shoulder. And then we're just going to roll on to our right side. And you'll see that stretches through the front of the right shoulder. You can stay right here. If that's too much, drop your hips forward slightly. To take it further, you could take the upper leg behind you. Come back into your breath if you left it. And then slowly come on out of that. And we'll switch sides. Right hand goes next to right shoulder. Left arm out to a T position. As you're ready, slowly come in. Come onto your sideline. Don't hold your head up here. Try to release that to the earth. You'd stay right here. If that's too much, drop the hips forward. And if you want to bring the upper leg up and behind you, feel free to do that as well. And then slowly transition back onto your belly. Cross the hands for crocodile. Rest the forehead on top of the hands. And breathe into your navel center. And from here, we're going to climb back up to Sphinx one more time. So come back up on the forearms. We're going to take the right forearm first in front of us, parallel with the front edge of our mat. We're going to bend through the left leg. And you can just wiggle it around a little bit to check. And if it's comfortable for your left arm, you can use a strap too. You can grab back onto the ankle. And we're stretching our left quadricep out. Being mindful to not create any strain in your low back. Lift with your breastbone to find this half bow, or Bakasana, half frog. Stay with your breath. And slowly release that. And then we'll switch sides, taking the left forearm parallel with the front edge of your mat. Bend through the right leg. Again, wiggle it out a little bit, especially if you have tight hamstrings. And then when you're ready, you can reach on back. And we're isolating the quadriceps here. You can play with lifting through the front line a little bit more, lifting through the breastbone. Stay with your breath. And slowly release that. Come back down onto your belly. Bring the hands out to the sides. And we're going to do baby Superman or Superwoman. Inhale, pick up the ankles, and then bring up the front of the chest. Now hinge the thumbs behind you, opening up the deep front arm line. As you inhale, you're breathing into the navel, lifting up with the breastbone. As you exhale, you're just retracting that back down, just like a baby snake again. If it's comfortable for you, you can turn this into a locust pose, bringing the hands out in front of you. Then exhale, lower back down, back to crocodile, stacking the hands, forehead on top of the hands. Relax the ankles. Then inhale, bring the hands next to you, slowly press on up. Be really mindful of your spine here. We did a lot of lengthening through the lower lumbars. Drop back into a child's pose to counter stretch. Feel free to bring your arms alongside you to give them a rest. And with your next inhale, we'll slowly come on up. We're going to just drop onto our right hips, bring the feet out in front of us. If you'd like to sit up on a blanket for support, feel free. And just get kind of loosey and goosey through the legs, point and flex. And now we're going to come into dorsiflexion through the feet. Reach through the heels, plant your hands next to your hips, lift through the breastbone. Finding your staff pose, Dandasana. Sink back into your breath. Moving into a seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Nice and slow, you can spider walk the fingers in front of you. Stay lifted with your breastbone for as long as you can. When you're ready, tuck through your chin and drop your head. Keep staying with long fluid breaths, inhales and exhales. And then inhale, slowly come back up. Good, and shake that out. And then from here, we're going to move right into a poet's twist with the legs out in front of you. Draw in the left heel. Bring the right one, if it's comfortable, for the hip behind you. Then we're going to twist to the left first. And then we're going to counter twist with the head. Tuck through your chin. Close your eyes. And now roll your eyeballs with the eyes closed, looking straight up to the sky. Come back into your breath. And exhale, release that. We're going to switch sides. Right heel comes into the groin. Left foot behind you in a Virasana base, hero's base. And then we're going to find our twist to the right. Counter twist with the head to the left. Tuck through your chin. Close your eyes and look straight up with your eyeballs. Nice and slowly derotate out of that. And bringing the feet out in front of you. We're bringing the soles of the feet together for a Baddha Konasana. And just kind of do your butterfly wings with the legs. Good. Let's interlace our fingers around the toes. I'm going to come back so people can see that. Now lift up with your breastbone. Try to soften your knees outwards the best you can. Don't force it, just kind of gently let the inner thighs relax. And then we're going to come to a forward fold here. Pulling ourselves forward slightly. Tuck through your chin. And inhale, slowly come back up. Now we're going to open up the legs. So this is a seated wide forward fold. And we're just going to climb up in front of us a little bit, right into the middle. Dorsiflex through the feet. Stay with your breath. And then slowly walk your hands towards the right leg, taking a stretch out to the right. Then we're going to climb our way to the opposite side, gentle fold over the left leg. Good. Climb your way back into center here. Then come back up, nice and slow. Good. Bring the legs back together. And if you'd like to take any final resting posture of your choice, so if you want to come down into a Shavasana or bent knee position, feel free to do that. Or you can take up legs up the wall pose, and if you like to take a couple micro twists from side to side just to kind of integrate the low back, feel free to do that. If you have a bolster, you could bring a bolster underneath your knees to do a supported reclining posture here. Otherwise, extend the legs out into a classic corpse pose, Shavasana. Let the hands become heavy, ankles become heavy, shoulder blades, let them become heavy as well. Let go of conscious control of your breath. Soften your hip bones down to the earth. Feel the support of the earth meeting your skin. Relax your eyeballs and the eye sockets. Soften your jaw. Allowing for a gentle reset through the whole system. Feel free to stay longer here in Shavasana. If you have somewhere you need to be, we could draw the hands up to the forehead right here and close our practice today in Namaste. Thanks, everybody.